Right. I think we're live. I think we're all good. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Moody. I would say yes. Staring at that guy's eyes will definitely trigger some seizures for sure. Almost got like serial killer eyes. I just there's something about it. There's something about it. But yeah, again, Scanners. That is an amazing movie, and that's probably one of the best head blown up scenes I've ever seen on film, to be honest with you. I know it's practical effects, obviously it's practical effects. This was back in the, I think it was back in the 80s, but it kind of reminds me of that like cheesy, like B movies, but still it was a bang and effect. I don't think I can play it. It's probably a bit too glory, but thank you so much for everyone popping in. We've got Moody. My predictions, pain. That's why I'm doing a live stream, mate. That's why I'm doing a live stream. Thanks for coming in, Moody. And DJB2, thanks for coming in. And the man himself, John Strokes. How's it going, mate? Thanks for being here. It's meant to be start at 9 p.m. Honestly, I did probably set the time. Probably typo. Yeah. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, this was just like I call it like a fuck it stream. I was like, oh, what should I do? Because me and the missus gonna be a bit busy later, so I thought I'd come on now. Probably like wrong time because people are probably like finishing work. But again, people can watch this video or the live stream anytime basically. So yeah, it's a bit like a fuck it stream, John. Yeah, sorry, mate. I didn't really put the timestamp for that one. But you're here with me now, and that's the main thing. So I was speaking to Ollie earlier, and I've decided to move the Alien Addict show. Just realized I'm not wearing a t-shirt. We're going to move it to next Friday, simply because Ollie needs to sort out a few more stuff for me to like get the live stream up together and all that. So that would be next Friday. I think it's hold on, I'll get the right date for you here because I'll make sure it's all correct. And this is going to be a very interesting stream I have installed for you. So that would be Friday the 24th at 9 p.m. UK time. And I will be talking about, well, a bit about me and a bit of where I'm going to take Alien Addict. But the topic for Friday's show will be whether or not Foo Fighters, these German frequency probes, whether or not they're actually military technology, because there's some sort of resemblance between the two. I mean, Foo Fighters, we know those balls of light. Let's bring up some Foo Fighters. I'll show you what I mean. And then we'll get to the main topic. So today we're going to be talking about, obviously, the new whistleblower, Jake Barber. And we'll get to him in a minute. But Foo Fighters is coming up with a bloody band, World War II. I think it's worth mentioning because you know me and my German flying saucers research that I do. One aspect I talk about is Foo Fighters. But the History Channel will say, or ufologists will say, oh, it's to do with aliens or extraterrestrials. Not necessarily. Right, let's bring this. Which one is it? We're going to, let's put it to entire screen. No. Ah, there we go. That. Right, it's tight. So, Foo Fighters. These were these balls of light that would track a military aircraft, or Allied aircraft. And the Germans as well, the British, Americans, and Germans. This is a typical photograph we've all seen of Foo Fighters. There is a clearer shot of this, but I'm going to put this out now, and I have said this a couple of times on interviews about Foo Fighters. Look what that is, okay? These balls of light look like fireballs. I mean, they're otherwise known as Kugelblitzers or Feuerballs, as the Germans will call it. But for me, that is a probe, in my opinion, but it's actually breaking the sound barrier. That's just my opinion on that one. Because these Foo Fighters, if they were probes, which I do believe they were, they can travel faster than the speed of sound. And obviously, when you break the speed of sound, it makes that sort of like halo effect that goes around the sort of aircraft. So I believe this is what's actually happening here. So that will be the topic of Alien Addict show next Friday, and it's going to be a bloody good one as well. I'm going to make sure that everyone's going to be take it back, because I don't think a lot of people has looked into Foo Fighters as potentially being transmission and frequency probes. The whole purpose was it to actually down military aircraft by producing this frequency, this magnetic field, I should say, and eventually it would disrupt the ignition systems of the aircraft, causing it to crash. So in one way, you're actually stopping the aircraft from flying. Instead of actually shooting it down on the ground, you're actually shooting up into the sky by using these probes, I want to say. So that's all out the way for that. Yeah, the fog was back, and it made me ill again. I'm not joking. Here is a photograph of the fog itself. This was probably one of the worst fogs I've seen in my area. And the day after, I had like a sore throat and stuff like that. Bear in mind, I have been in contact with people that has been ill. So I'm not saying it's toxic fog or anything like that. But I would say this. I did mention Operation Sea Spray, which was the biological weapon experiment that was done on the San Francisco Bay Area. And what it actually did, or what the military did, is that they actually sprayed this bacteria. I can't remember what it was called, but it was this bacteria. They actually sprayed it into the fog itself. And what it would, the bacteria will actually stabilize in the humidity. Because I mean, if you look at like fog, what it is, it's just clouds that's basically lingering on the ground, isn't it? Another form of that, it would be ultrastratus, but basically it's normal fog. I did add a little look on the internet, and I did see, well, on the weather report, and I did see that this was natural fog. The humidity was very high, and the temperature was quite, I say about 10 degrees as well, and it was quite not too cold as well. So it was perfect conditions for fog to happen. Not saying it's toxic fog or anything like that. Don't worry, I'm not like batshit conspiracy theorist or anything like that. Like most people on the internet have gone wild claims about this crazy fog. But nevertheless, this kind of looks like Silent Hill. I expected like Pyramid Head and the nurses to come out. And the remake, by the way, is amazing. So let's get rid of that. Put me back on screen. I'll short me down a little bit. Okay. First things first. The main topic of today. Yeah, Jake Barber, the new whistleblower, is supposed to have video footage and tantalizing evidence to suggest that he retrieved a egg-shaped craft. I can't remember when. I don't think he gave details about it. And this is going to be released on News Nation tomorrow. And the UFO community are getting absolute boners over it. Literally boners. The skeptics are having a go, the believers are having a go, and it's just like a big mishmash of like a clusterfuck of like like I'll give my personal opinion on it. I think it's going to be like a massive nothing burger, but we shall go through and ask some poignant questions that I think the UFO community needs to ask. Also, have we not learned our lesson? I'll get to that in a minute, i.e. David Grouch. So let's bring up News Nation. I guarantee if they copyright strike me, I will bash Coltart so hard. I just don't trust the guy. I'm sorry, he's not a ufologist. Why is he being put on a pedestal as the UFO savior? He's going to give us disclosure. Oh, where is it to? Where are we going to? Blah, 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 blah. Where are you to, Coltart? Oh, sod it. Tell you what. Full screen. If it'll actually work. Yeah, bear with me, guys. I'm just still sorting out and adjusting to things and all that. So if there's like slight pauses, don't worry. Right. Oh, I'll get to this in a minute. Jay Anderson from Project Unity. I'll get to this because he does post some pretty good stuff. However, this is a bit sketchy. Hold on a minute. What am I doing? Am I on the right track here? No. I'm an idiot. There we go. Bloody idiot. Right. News Nation clip. Please don't copyright strike me, for Christ's sake.
All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblowers, armadas of strange aircraft flying over, of all places, New Jersey. What does it all mean? Well, since last year's groundbreaking interview with whistleblower David Grouch, News Nation's been out front on this story, and we've got another major exclusive. A new whistleblower is coming forward saying he's not just saying he's heard about a secret government program to retrieve UFO crash remains. He says he's worked on this program. He claims to have video to prove it and credentialed colleagues who back him up, and he has the attention of at least one senior lawmaker. News Nation's Ross Coulthard has been working on this story for more than a year. He conducted the interview for a special report airing right here this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And News Nation correspondent Joe Khalil is here with a first look. Joe, these are pretty stunning claims.
Yeah, they are, Elizabeth. The man you saw in the video, Jake Barber, he's an Air Force veteran, and he is coming forward with some shocking claims. The first person to go public saying that he actually participated directly in a secret military program that he believes was to retrieve UAP or alien craft. Now, Barber says he was contracted as a helicopter pilot. He retrieved all kinds of crashed craft. Some of it, he says, top secret and explainable. Others, he says, however, he believes were non-human origin. It's not just him. We've got 3 other military veterans backing up.
Oh, I got to hit pause. Hello, Anne. You're in. I just messaged you saying I'm live. We'll get to the 11:11 in a minute. Don't worry. But yeah, thanks for being here, Anne. Right, let's continue. Oh, hold on. What have I done? I clipped myself right off. What an idiot. Bring her up. Oh, no, wrong one. See, I'm still new to all this. Where are we to? Some more. Oh, I clicked off it. What a flipping idiot. Right, 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. Bring it back up again. So, yeah, this new whistleblower is supposed to be like massive news tomorrow, like I mentioned. And I'm going to be honest with you, like the backtrack record of like these like whistleblowers. I mean, look at David Grouch. I mean, nothing's really. I mean, he's gone now, but he was behind either the payroll or the what I can call it, Christopher Mellon. He was almost like guiding Grouch, and that's just like a whoa, big red flags for me. So I'm very, very suspicious of any so-called whistleblowers coming up. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
Him, we've got 3 other military veterans backing up his story on the record and on camera to News Nation. So take a listen quickly to just part of Ross Coulthard's conversation with Barber.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in...
I'm sorry, Moody mentioned this. That eyes is just, is uncanny. Kind of, I'm not dissing. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure Jake's a lovely guy, but kind of reminds me of a serial killer. You know what I mean? Yeah, continue.
In a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
So, Elizabeth, Saturday night, 8 p.m. is that special that you can see here. They've also got some exclusive video of one of these retrievals that's never before been seen. We've also confirmed Barber has met with some high-level Senate staff. So a lot there, and you're going to see all that this weekend.
Wow.
Okay. Big claims. Big, wild claims. Right. Okay. Let's just get things to perspective here. Let's get to chat. Mark, Orc from Orc waves at him. I want what he's on. Yeah, the eyes. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell. I don't want to be like a judge a book by the cover, Anne, but you know when you kind of look at the person and you go like, oh, I get that sort of feeling when I'm like next to a person. You know, to sort of feel the energy. But those eyes. I'm sure he's a lovely person. We'll see tomorrow on that extra interview we'll be seeing. Great Aussies media hat, cold hard riding on the UFO bandwagon. Yeah, I would agree with you with that. Gorb Stopper. Yeah, Ross Coulthard, you know, he's come from an area where, like you said, he was a disgraced journalist back in Australia. Then he came to News Nation, being put on the pedestal like he knows everything about UFOs when he's relatively new to the community. I mean, I'm not saying like, I don't want to bring like my size 12 out here, but when you do so much research, like probably like me and you do, like for decades and decades, since I was a kid, you tend to know the trends. But what we've known from Ross Coulthard, he's been pushing this fake stories, these UFO stories. And you have to, I mean, look at the drones. They kept on repeating the same footage of literally a drone that was debunked by, I think it was Stephen Greenstreet, who actually contacted the pilot to say, look, this is your plane that was flying by. So again, News Nation are like the #1 news outlet to get your UFO news from. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, is it true? Is it true, though? So let's just talk about tomorrow. Okay, Jake Barber. He was in, I believe, in the UFO circle because Steve, what's his? I can't even figure his name. It's completely gone for his name. What's his bloody name? Stephen Greer. That was it, Stephen Greer. He said that he was in a helicopter with Jake Barber 15 months ago. And I think it's important to actually play this clip. I've literally just saved it not long ago. So I think it's worth showing Stephen Greer and because where the hell has he come from? He seems to like insert himself when the UFO topic seems to be quite poignant. I mean, if you look at the congressional hearings, he never showed his face, even though he did an interview with Third Phase of Moon walking around, you know, not being part of the congressional hearing, but he's there sort of inserting himself in. And even he said not long ago that there will be something big happening in 72 hours. And this was a couple of days ago. So he's in the loop about what's going on. I know Ross Coulthard saying, oh, there's something big happening in 2025. And I think this is what they're talking about. Get to the footage in a minute. But let's play the footage from Stephen Greer. I can't believe I forgot his bloody name. Right, here we go. The man himself.
I've spoken for some time about a group of people who have worked at black sites out west in sensitive operations, where I have visited those sites. The leader of that team has come forward. He had a little cameo on News Nation yesterday. That would be Wednesday. That was talking about his involvement with the crash retrieval operations and what have you. There will be more that will be coming out Saturday on that same show. with Ross.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human.
And then just not human.
What people need to understand is that this has evolved a lot in the last 2 months. As of this past summer, that individual, Jake Barber, and his team, as well as people from other sites who are working with him, we're going to just collect a lot of the evidence of the crashes, the bodies, the retrievals, the man-made craft, hand them over, and we'd put it out publicly. Then they decided to do it through some government process with an office called DOPSR, which clears things that are going to be written and released at the Pentagon, DOPSR. You can look it up. Another one of those alphabet soup acronyms in the government, which are endless. But those are the ones who review what something you're going to print or release that's of a top secret nature. And then also they decided to unmask themselves. I've talked about this in the last month or two, that this was a very big development, a very good development, that instead of it being an anonymous drop of information. And
okay, that is the clip from Stephen Greer. Yeah, you're right. DJ, he's doing his rounds for the past couple of weeks saying disclosure is happening soon. Okay, right. Disclosure. The Disclosure Project back in 2001. Why am I so white? I've been like set back a little bit. I noticed that on my last live stream. So here I collect all my UFO books and all that. I got a massive stack here of UFO magazines. Just to go slightly off topic, here is the one UFO magazine from June 2001 to 3 months before 9/11. Read the title. The truth is coming. Disclosure. Everything that we've been hearing from Stephen Greer to News Nation, something big is going to happen, is all mentioned in these books. Not just in this one from 2001, which was about the Disclosure Project, which was a quite big thing. Had all the military and people that were very high up in military contracts, especially like nuclear sort of contracts. So they're very, very credible people. So to suddenly sort of disregard them, but excuse me, but it's all down to evidence now. I think what we call this is like trust me bros and hearsays. Oh, trust me, I was part of this program. I had a government official to tell me that I was part of a government program that was for crash retrievals of aliens and UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call it. So again, it's just a bunch of like secondhand testimony. Here is a book, a magazine, I should say, from 1959, all about UFOs. 1959, same stories, guys. It's same stories. You got. I'll actually do that on an Alien Alex live stream, or if you don't have anything that comes out of this, I will put some sort of details to say, look, this is just stories that we've all heard before. 1959, one of the oldest UFO magazines I've got. Again, more stories been coming forward. This was from 1970s. UFO report. Military people coming forward saying they've been involved in crash retrievals. Again, in this magazine, 1970s. It's one from 1975. Again, all about crash retrievals. It's like this is stories that we've heard before. And I truly, truly hope something comes out tomorrow. But the hope in me is gone when it comes to ufology. There's a few things I want to bring up about Jake Barber. Why? I've got some notes here. I've got to read by. I've got to stick to it. So any notes? Why has he gone to News Nation? Why didn't he go to Arrow, the All Domain Anomaly Revolution Office? That is basically an official governmental program to look into UFOs, UAPs. I can't stand that word, UAPs, UFOs. I don't understand. So why has he gone straight to News Nation? I think if he wants to be more credible, I think going to Arrow. I know Arrow, we all bloody hate it, and they put a report out last year, sort of shitting on, UFO sightings. I understand that, but I think it's just worth as is an official governmental investigation into UFOs, I think it was probably worth a best bet to go there to Arrow. I might be wrong on that one. You might say a bit different, but I just find it strange that all of a sudden now News Nation has held this back, and they're having like the perfect time to put the stories forward. And they're picking their moments. It's like, I just find that very, very odd. I mean, if you look at Grouch came out on News Nation. Where is he now? He's got, I mean, that was like a massive nothing burger when you look at it. Yeah, okay, he went to the congressional hearings and gave his testimony, but with no evidence. He lost his security clearance, so he didn't really have any sort of legway to give us any evidence. He said he was going to break all the information in terms of where he was involved with, or the military contractors, or the people involved, the 40 whistleblowers. Where are they gone? It's like a massive hype, and it gets bashed back down again. And it just feels like this is going to be David Grouch 2.0, in my opinion. So I don't understand why he didn't go to Arrow, the Order Main Anomaly Revolution Office. That is the official government. Well, it's run by the Pentagon. I can't even bloody trust them either. But yeah, why is News Nation jumping on this? So News Nation has got their foot into the UFO fan club, one would say. This would be like the Jeremy Corbell's, George Knapp, you know, the same people we're talking about here. Does Jake still have his security clearance? This is it. Because releasing footage that is still classified to the public, that ain't going to go down well. I think that is going to get you into a lot of trouble. So one of my predictions here, guys, is that the footage that is going to be released tomorrow, and they say they got a footage going to be released tomorrow, I guarantee this, it is going to be the most grainiest, blurry. You ain't going to make out what this thing is. It's going to be something probably infrared, so you can't actually work out what this object is. And the UFO community are going to suck it up. It's going to be blurry. It's going to be crap. Otherwise, if it was crystal clear, they wouldn't release it. They would not release it. So it has to be grainy, blurry, and you can't make out what this object is. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. It seems to be a very common theme in ufology when it comes to footage being released. I just I'm kind of getting excited, but I've been here before. I think it's really important that people have not learnt their lesson. Why are we trusting news outlets all of a sudden, especially News Nation, who've been caught promoting fake UFO people and fake UFO footage? I'm just not buying it. So I'm very, very skeptical about this. So yeah, why didn't you go to Arrow for further investigation? I don't know why Stephen Guerrero is getting involved in, like, again, the UFO fan club, so to speak. Does he still have his security clearance, and has he got permission to show this footage of the crash retrieval? This is it, of the actual crash retrieval. I'm sorry, it doesn't really make sense, but I guarantee it will be blurry crap and you can't make anything out of it. And the UFO community, like me, are going to be talking about it for a good couple of weeks until something else comes along. What else have we got here? Yeah, well, claims grainy footage. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. It was just like a few points I wanted, because we don't really know much about Jake Barber. He might be very credible. He might be the best whistleblower we've may come across, but at the same time, this is News Nation. We're dealing with a Ross Coulthard here. These new outlets are not going to give you the real truth about anything, and that's just my personal opinion. So there's a few questions I wanted to ask here in regards of tomorrow's interview, which I'm sure I'll do a live stream as well at some point in regards of it. So in regards of egg-shaped UFOs, if we'll ever see anything like that, it kind of reminded me of an incident that happened in 1965, 64. And that is called the Zamora UFO craft landing was it in Mexico or was it America? I think it might be in Mexico. And this was an egg-shaped craft that landed, and a police officer called Loney, I'm going to butcher his name, Loney Zamora, witnessed this. And he was an actual police officer who witnessed this egg-shaped craft land. It had landing gears on it. He saw these two aliens. I'm not going to... Actually, no, let's play the video because I'm spoiling it at the moment. So this is just a very short clip from a YouTube channel I'm going to say in a minute. Please don't copyright strike me. YouTube are really cracking down at the moment with this. So here it is, a Zamora UFO craft landing incident in 1964.
On April 24th, 1964, an American police officer named Lonnie Zamora spotted a strange object streak through the sky over a highway outside of Socorro, New Mexico. The object was between half a mile to a mile away, shooting off towards the southwest. It left a trail of bluish-orange flames and made a roaring noise as it passed overhead. Curious as to what it was, Officer Zamora followed the object over a steep hill, catching up with it as it lay rested on the summit. What Zamora saw then has never been adequately explained.
Let's get me off here.
When Officer Zamora first caught sight of the object coming over the peak of the hill, he thought he was looking at an overturned car. He noticed two people in white uniforms standing next to it, so he drove over to offer some help. As he got closer, he realized that the object was no car at all. Zamora described it as a smooth, oval-shaped craft that shone with the luster of aluminum, though it was white rather than chrome. It was supported by 4 legs that angled off in each cardinal direction, and bore a prominent red insignia that Zamora was able to commit to memory. As he approached the object, Zamora noticed that he startled the people standing next to it. He lost sight of them for a while as he drove around a hill, but shortly after he parked his squad car and climbed out to investigate, Zamora noticed the people were no longer in view. As he stood staring at the object from no more than 150 feet away, he heard a series of sounds that resembled the slamming of metal doors. The object then made a loud roaring noise and began to shoot flames from its underside. Zamora ran for cover as the object lifted off the ground, while emitting an increasingly loud roar that sharpened in pitch as it ascended. Zamora ran back to his car and radioed into the sheriff's office, describing the encounter as he watched the object shoot off across the horizon and disappear from sight. As he waited for backup, he noticed a few burning bushes near the scene of the encounter. He was soon joined by his friend and fellow officer, Sergeant Chavez, who also observed the smoldering bushes and who pointed out some deep symmetrical gouges in the sand around the launch site. Air Force Captain Richard T. Holder, who was stationed at the nearby White Sands Missile Range, was sent to the scene within an hour and a half of the encounter to perform an investigation. Holder immediately had the scene designated a sensitive area and took the case from the state police. He and his men scoured the surrounding desert for clues of a hoax, but every piece of evidence they discovered only confirmed what Zamora had reported. In an interview with Unsolved Mysteries in the early 1990s, Holder discussed the investigation and expressed great confidence in the reliability of Zamora's report. Still, he could not ascertain the origin of the oval-shaped craft. Zamora's sighting became a big press story and attracted a swarm of investigators. Researchers from a number of private UFO organizations were there, as were officers from the Air Force and from the FBI. J. Allen Hynek, the scientific consultant with the Air Force UFO research group Project Blue Book, arrived at the scene within 4 days of the encounter. He interviewed Chavez and Zamora, finding them both to be highly credible witnesses. He was particularly impressed by Zamora's character and could not bring himself to believe that such an honest and diligent officer would have orchestrated a hoax. The case had a profound impact on Hynek's view of the UFO phenomenon. Throughout his years as scientific consultant to Project Blue Book, Hynek had always affirmed that all sightings could be explained by conventional means. But Zamora's sighting offered all the hard evidence that he demanded of a credible UFO report. He was uncharacteristically outspoken in his dissatisfaction with the Air Force's handling of the situation, and for the remainder of his time with Project Blue Book, he would openly criticize the military's biased approach to UFO research. Unfortunately, Hynek's voice fell on deaf ears. Just 6 years after the Lonnie Zamora incident, the Air Force closed Project Blue Book on the presumption that nothing of value could come from investigating UFO reports. Zamora's sighting remains officially attributed to an experimental military test craft. While this theory is impossible to disprove, it's worth noting that even today, nearly 50 years after the encounter, this hypothetical craft has never been made public.
Let's go back.
Military noting that even today.
Okay. There's people that's turned up in chat. Who do we have here then? Corbell's Cats. Corbell's Cats? Welcome to him. Thanks for being here, bruv. I did a bit of an early stream, but I do appreciate you being here. And who else you got here? Oh, S Hammers. Thanks for being here, bruv. I do appreciate you all being here on this very early live stream. So yeah, this was just like a fuck it live stream, guys. For those who just come in, I just like, oh, I've got some stuff to talk about. Preparation for tomorrow's Jake Barber's new whistleblower stuff. Skip back to the beginning. I do talk about it. But again, if you're new to stream, I've mentioned that the fact that tomorrow will be, again, probably just a bunch of hearsay claims. This is News Nation we're talking about here. Everyone's getting excited by the footage that is supposed to be released of this egg-shaped UFO supposed to be retrieved. I guarantee it's going to be blurry footage, a bit like the Go Fast and gimbal footage. Is going to be, I think it's going to be thermal, because a guy said that this is Jake Barber, who was in a helicopter retrieving this egg-shaped UFO. He said that he was looking at it through the night vision goggles because he was retrieving it at night. So I guarantee it's going to be blurry, crappy footage that everyone in the UFO community are going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks until someone else comes along. But let's go to this here. This is why I'm showing us Zamora, who owns News Nation. I believe it's George Knapp. Corbell's Cats, is that right? I think it's George Knapp, or he has some sort of financial gain into it, or I can't remember that. I think it was last year I did hear that rumor, definitely. Don't quote me on that one, but I wouldn't be surprised. I guess we already had a feast on another nothing, but yeah, enough. This is what it is. It's just, we'll see. As Hammers, there's the hope in me goes right. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. But at the same time, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, is that have we not learned our lesson? Look at David Grouch. Where the hell is he gone all of a sudden? With all these fake promises he's been putting forward, and I could go on about it, man. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll come back and we'll do another stream on it, because I want to do some streams before we go on to Alien Alex show next Friday. But this egg-shaped craft here had a propulsion system, according to Zamora. He was a very credible witness. There are interviews on Zamora incident, especially with the police officer himself. It seems very based, very ground to earth person, and it seems very, very credible. And he doesn't have serial killer eyes like Jake does. No offense. Those eyes, man, those eyes. So I thought it's worth bringing this up because it is quite interesting that the same sort of craft that Jake mentioned could be traced back to 1964 this was. I'm going to put myself up bigger. Hold on. Where am I to? Go away. All right. So let's go back to these magazines. So Flying Saucers reports I've just showed. And I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of something that I was reading about. And this is from 1967. Okay. And it actually has the Zamora case in there. And I've been reading through this. It's pretty much the same sort of information you've been hearing on that video there. This seems very credible. And not only that, it actually left... I don't think I've got any footprints or anything like that on this. No, I don't. It's just sketch. I mean, bear in mind, these magazines, they're mostly hand-drawn stuff. You rarely even get, like, photographs in there. But apparently, the egg-shaped craft had landing gears. Let's just bring this up. Zamora UFO. And let's see if we can find any of that footprints. Footprints. So look. Because the craft actually made some indentations in the ground. No, I can't really find it anywhere. Yeah, I did have a look earlier. Okay, never mind. But then the investigation actually came out to have a look whether or not if there's any credibility to what Zamora was saying. And absolutely there is. Because if you want to do, I don't want to dedicate too much of the time on this case, but actually the 2 beings left footprints, and the craft that had 3 leg prawns actually left imprints as well. And there was a visible sign of a propulsion system. But this is what I mean. If I just bring this back up again, Zamora himself said that it looked like a jet at the bottom. So who knows? And that symbol there, it kind of looks human to me. I don't know. It's one of those old style cases that will never be solved. But I thought I'll bring it up anyway because it seems quite poignant to what Jake was witnessing. But I think Jake, the whistleblower, I mean that quotation marks. I think he's talking about the egg looked like you stand an egg upright. You know, it sort of looked like that. So this was more or less on the side. You could say that's a tic tac. You know, who knows? So yeah, I thought let's bring it to the Zamora case because it kind of resembles to what Jake was saying in regards of the craft he retrieved. And we shall see tomorrow whether or not there's going to be any evidence to push disclosure into the right direction. Because I always said to myself, actually, I asked the UFO community this, is if you take from 2017 to 2025, how far have we got from disclosure? And one would say, well, one would argue, we've had congressional hearings. Sure, that's a big thing. At the same time, it's the evidence. I've been in this field for so long. I mean, I've got some of my original UFO magazines here, and I've got tons of them you haven't seen. So I've always read through these cases. I've always been in the UFO community. Well, I've been into UFO since I was a kid. I've always been paying a close attention to it for quite a while. I mean, like I said, since I was a kid. Well, when I got the internet, which was about 2002, that's when I started to like research in UFOs because that was where we got a lot of our information from. Mysterion, how's it going, man? I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. And yeah, I hope you're doing well, bruv. It's nice to see you here. It's been a while. So in regards of what's going to happen tomorrow, I don't know. I really don't know. I forgot I was going with that one. Love any recent stuff. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I've actually got a new PC because I don't know if you know, I've actually taken over Alien Addict as the new host of the show. So the show is in my hands. So I was relying on my £150 crappy laptop to something that is, well, it's a gaming PC. It cost me about £1,500. But I tell you what's fast as fuck. I tell you, it's so fast. It's super. Oh, I'm kind of happy with it. Well, no, I am happy with it after spending all that money. So yeah, check me out on next Friday, mate. 9 o'clock. New show of Alien Addict. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on because we could talk all day about Jake and fake whistleblowers and stuff like that. Are you still going live tonight? No, DW. Yeah, sorry, mate. That is my fault. It's actually going to be next Friday because Ollie's been away and he hasn't sorted the StreamYard stuff like all the intros. Guys, the intro music will stay the same. It ain't changing. That's one thing I absolutely love about Alien Addict is the intro music. So it will be next Friday, DW. Okay, I'll put a notification out for everyone so you're pre-warned in advance. And the topic I'm going to be talking about is kind of a bit like drone related, but it's all to do with like Foo Fighters and whether or not Foo Fighters back in World War II used to track the Allied aircraft, like these balls of light, could have been probes to down military aircraft. It's one sort of conspiracy behind it, and I'm going to sort of blend that into like the drone orby stuff that's been going on recently. So yeah, big show next Friday. But I do apologize, mate. Yeah, not tonight. It'll be next Friday at 9 p.m. I don't know what that is in America time, but 9 p.m. UK time. Happy to help out if you need it. Yes. Right. There's one thing I want to talk about, mate. I'm going to be talking about Vril in a minute, okay? Because Jay Anderson from Project Unity brought something up. I've been studying Vril, Mysterion, quite heavily. I bought a book. Hold on. So I bought this book here called The Lost World of Agrata. I believe that's what it's called. Come on, focus. And it says here, oh, come on. You're a £100 webcam. Why can't you focus? The mystery of real power, an amazing force said to be unlimited power to anyone who possesses it. Bloody camera. But yeah, I've been studying Vril and going back through history. The only thing I haven't looked into, and this is where you come in, Mysterion, is Helena Blavatsky and philosophy and how she blends Vril into her sort of timeline back in the day in the sort of late 19th century. So yes, they'll be much appreciated. But I'll got you on next, mate. So I'll send you a message onto that. So the Vril is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Although I don't think Muriel Orsic exists. Although I wish we would. Yes, the intro, mate. It's staying the same. Staying the same, baby. Don't worry about that. I'm not sure if the whistleblower will do any good without some sort of evidence to back it up. Yeah, this is it. This is it, John Strokes. We need the evidence now. I'm sick and tired of trust me, bros. Oh, trust me, I had this clarification from this government official and etc. etc. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. And how's it going? We're going to put another idea out. What if tomorrow info is really believable and clear? I kind of wish it is. So when the fake aliens come, we believe are stray inside or like again. I would say the fake aliens. I mean, we'll talk about Project Bluebeam. If you ever heard of that, Anne, Project Bluebeam it's supposed to be a fake alien invasion that would use holograms to bring up a one world government, so to speak, or like the New World Order, which was back in the day. That has been on the cards quite a lot recently in terms of like the fake alien invasion. I personally believe these extraterrestrials are interdimensional beings, and I think I'm putting this theory out here that a possibility of why the drones are in mass sightings at the moment is because they're trying to track where these aliens are coming from. And yes, I'm talking about portals. So I'm throwing that one there in your way, Anne. But no, liking the idea. And pop in for a cup of tea. Me and Anne know each other personally. She came in for a cup of tea. She's very like-minded people. And yeah, you'll get on well in our community. Absolutely, Anne. But yeah, I'm sorry if I missed you today. Where was I too? I was actually doing private work today. But anyway, but hopefully see you soon. Corbell Cats, I would have thought there would be more whistleblowers come forward at the congressional. Yeah, I in Congress, this is what I mean. I mentioned earlier, I don't think you're in chat, mate. Why hasn't Jake Barber come forward like to Arrow or the Automated Anomaly of Revolution? I said that so fast. Thing is, when I'm nervous, I speak really fast. The Automated Anomaly Revolution Office. Why didn't he come forward to that and bring his evidence there as it's like the official Pentagon look into UFOs? But we don't really trust Arrow because they've really shown their dark side. Well, they've shown their side of the story, which is basically shitting on UFOs and saying there's no evidence. Why has he gone to News Nation? That's the other thing as well. A lot of things just don't add up. So I'm very, very suspicious. I don't understand why they got so much airtime with such little actual evidence. Again, this is it, mate. Evidence is like I was mentioning earlier. When you've been in the UFO community for so long, I've been reading through these books for years. You start to notice the pattern. This is what I lost my train of thought not a while ago. Is that the fact that it's just hearsays and trust me, bros. We need the evidence now, something. But the evidence we're going to get tomorrow as Hammers is going to be grainy and blurry and shite, unfortunately. Oh yeah, you got that. Yes. I tell you what, mate. I was in Glastonbury. There's in the town hall. There's got like an old bookshop, and they had Aleister Crowley's old books were hundreds, and they had. Yeah, I saw Helena Blavatsky. The whole, I think it was ISIS Unveiled and the Secret Doctrine, which came out in the late 18th century, and they were like £200 each. And I was like, shit, like this is like the original book. It's an amazing store. If anyone's in England who's gone to Glastonbury who likes vintage books like I do, there's a shop in Glastonbury Town Centre, I should say, that's got so much rare books on the occult, especially the occult is fascinating. I spent the whole day there trying to find stuff. But yeah, that book, mate, Helena Blavatsky's book is just yeah, I haven't read it because I can't find it on the internet. But yeah, your input would be much appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, bad autocorrect because I couldn't see my text. Right, yeah, if you don't see your text, Anne, that is to do with YouTube. YouTube are really just odd when it comes to like the comment section. Something, yeah, I've noticed that sometimes it gets rejected if you say a certain word. I don't know why. Bear in mind, I have been shadow banned quite badly. I've been banned a few times, so I think YouTube kind of restricts on what people put. It's really shitty. That's one thing about bloody YouTube. It really pisses me off. But yeah, if it doesn't come up again, just pull it in again, darling. All right. Also have the set 2, the Secret Doctrine. Yes, the Secret Doctrine was. Is that based on? Which is the one that's based on Vril, Mysterion? If I were to look into Vril, which one is it? The Secret Doctrine or ISIS Unveiled? Because I know they came out that sort of time period, quite close together. So if you could let me know on that, that'd be amazing. Understood, Anne. Absolutely. What do you make of Maria Serene? I'm friends with her on Facebook to chat. I could ask her. Right. Okay. Right. Marina Serene. I am going to do an episode on her. I follow her on. I'm not going to put it up because she posts a lot of like. I know she's into the Nazi philosophy and stuff like that, and I know she dresses up in Nazi uniforms and stuff like that. So I'm a bit like, oh, I take a step back. She makes a lot of outlandish claims about Vril and stuff like that. Mysterion, I was going to say, I should probably worth mentioning now. I got this extremely rare book. This is, you want to know about Vril Society, Maria Orsic, where it all began. This is it. Guys, this took me 15 years to get. This is everything on German UFOs, flying saucers, I should say. It's got like literally everything in here. This is like the birth of it. So I've read through this, and this is all by the way, this is the full transcript on my YouTube channel, which you could go check now. So what a lot of Maria Serene is saying about this, she tends to, I would say, essentialize the stories. I mean, here's just one example. I mean, in this book here, it mentions about Maria Orsic. You know about Maria Orsic, the long blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman. She was not part of the Vril Society. According to this book, she was part of the Tula Society or Tula Gesellschaft. And yeah, all right, here we are. Right. I know we're getting a bit off topic here. Right, here is an original photograph, a supposed original photograph of Maria Orsic. And it says here, Tula Ges, so that means Gesellschaft, which means society or organization in German, which means the Tula Society, okay? But if we go down to here, that woman there is called Sigrun, and she was part of the Vril Society. So a lot of what people are saying on the internet that Maria Orsic was part of the Vril Society, I'm going, well, hold on a minute, this is the original manuscript. So, but what the point I'm trying to get, I'm sorry, going off topic here, but the fact is that Maria Serene tends to essentialize these stories, which sounds just completely outlandish. I don't know, mate. When I do a proper video on it, I've got to bring up the videos, and I will go on to. Should I contact her? I don't know, mate. I really don't know. But she is bloody gorgeous, though. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm going to say it. I mean, if there was a spitting image of a Aryan woman, that would be her. I'm just going to say it right there. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous woman. But yeah, a bit too much on the Nazi philosophy, mate. You know what I mean? A bit of a touchy subject. But if you got her on Facebook, potentially in the near future, could you reach out to her? Or I can reach out to her on Twitter. But I'm not too sure yet, mate. But no, I appreciate that. But yeah, any input would be much appreciated. Oh, chat's going berserk. Hold on, bloody hell. Elon gets where water currents. Honestly, I don't know why Ollie said to me, like, take over Alien Addict. I can't even fucking read properly. Klaus Schwab has already has his aliens overlord suits. Yeah, bloody reptilian. You could say he looks like a reptilian. I know, it kind of reminds me of like Austin Powers villain. Was it Dr. Evil? Dr. Evil. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of him, especially some of the suits he wears and all that. But yeah, wouldn't trust a guy as far as can fucking throw him. Let's have a gonna drop down because chat has gone absolutely bananas. At the end of the day, it boils down to someone's words. Photos and videos can easily be faked. Absolutely 100%, especially in 2025. Well, look at last year, how AI sort of improved. So what you are looking for is mass sightings with loads of different evidence. Yeah. Mass sightings would be discarding the drones. You could say, for instance, the Phoenix Lights, that was seen by thousands of people, the same object as well, regardless of if you think it was to do with flares and all that. But a sighting like that, not at night, but during the day. We need to see the sightings during the day, but a mass sighting that everyone can see, that isn't faked, will be definitely on the cards, hopefully soon. I see nothing, only what's obvious. Oh my god, I can't let you read. The problem is, mate, I've just 420'd. I can never concentrate when I'm doing that. Hey, Rory, how's it going, man? Late to the show. Don't worry, you're here now. That's the main thing. Well, I hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for being there. This is a bit like this is the fuck it stream, mate. I just like click go as I just want to talk about Jake Barber and his claims for tomorrow. You got the full set. Okay, cool. Well, I'll be in contact, Mysterion. 6 books. 6 books of it, is there? Yeah, this is how much I don't know about Helena Blavatsky. So yeah, your input, mate. I'll give you a shout whenever I need it, but I really do appreciate it. Oh my god, chat's gone bloody crazy. Happy 420. Happy 420. I've got a little bit left over. Oh, gone down an hour. I was going to do an hour, but anyway. Marina the Dreamer. Yeah. I don't know. Me and Ollie were talking about getting Marina on the show. But there has been interviews of her where she has like lost her shit. I know I could have a conversation with her, a rational one, but it's when you bring up the Jews and stuff like that, that's where it gets like YouTube are like, no, not going there, not going there. Do you know what I mean? It's just because that is part of her philosophy. You know, she said she only dates people without her race. You know, so she's in that sort of mentality, mate. So I mean, I'd leave her to it. But I wouldn't mind having a conversation with her about Vril and nothing else, for Christ's sake. I've arrived back just in time. Irina, Serene, and Nick sitting there in the tree kissing. Nick's just telling her, "You're Maria Orsick's secret's grandson." You'll be in like flying. Oh my god. Rory, I said this. She is an extremely attractive woman. Extremely attractive. Maria Orsick. This is it, mate. I've looked into Maria Orsick and I just can't really find any evidence she's ever existed. Like I said, like this was like the first ever mention of Maria Orsic, and this came out in 1992. And you know my German flying saucer books I've got here. I mean, this is the earliest one I've got, and this is from 1950. Yeah, go figure. Well, I got my hand covered. 1959, I believe. No mention of Maria Orsic on that. Got another one here. Mustachio Man on there, covering up the swastika. That's from 1970. Again, no mention of Maria Orsic. This I've got another one here on German Flying Saucers by Michael X, came out in 1960. No mention of Maria Orsic. So it's such a difficult one to do. Who was there's a YouTube channel called, what is he called? Tino Struckman Battlefields. I'm going to bring it up here. So Tino Struckman Battlefields. That's all. That's it. That's the one there. He is a German historian. I'm going to bring up his YouTube channel because I think it's worth actually bringing up. But, oh, Moody, mate, you got way with words, mate. Honestly, I absolutely love the way you present words. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. Right. If you want to know about German military historic archive stuff, go check out Lost Battlefields with Tino Struckman. He did an interview with Joseph P. Farrell, and he was talking about Vril. And he was saying that Tino Struckman actually looked into the archives and he's trying to find anything related to Vril Society and Maria Orsic. And this is the German archive, and he couldn't find anything on it. And this is what I mean by the lack of evidence. If there was something I could go by, but even I mean, there's no writings from Maria Orsic. There's no the photographs, like I mentioned in my German Flying Saucer presentations. There's like 7 photographs of her. I'm just finding it really hard. I need evidence. This is it. I'm not poo-pooing. I mean, I do poo-poo it to a certain degree, but I just need that sort of clarification that says, right, here is Maria Orsic. Here's her handwriting. Here's at least a photograph of her. I mean, we were talking about 1920s here, so it's very sketchy, mate. It's very sketchy, but I'm not poo-pooing that well, yeah, I am poo-pooing the idea that she didn't exist because there's really no evidence for it. So yeah, go check out Tino Struckman. Really, really good channel. And this is perfect for German military technology, especially in World War II. And he did a review on, and this is something I need to talk about, the Bell Project. Has he got it on here somewhere? He actually goes to the facility, the Henge. That's it there. This is the last Nazi secret, the Henge. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, you can see it there. And he was basically going underneath it, and there's something definitely going on there. So he did a great detailed dive into the Bell Project, which I need to talk about soon. Really a massive, great deal of information into that. So yeah, that's that for that. Right, let's bring up Twitter. Oh, there's Hammers. Right, I'll see you soon, mate. And yeah, take care of yourself. At the trials following World War II, the mention of esoteric beliefs was removed, so it's not to use intensely as a defense in the court. Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, I have heard this. Near the later stages of World War II, the Germans did burn a lot of documents and hid a lot of documents as well. Obviously, we're talking about that aspect of the occult would be Himmler himself, because he was mad into the occult. We had his 3-sided castle up in Germany. I can't remember what it was called, but he had the Sigrun. Oh God, what's it called? The black sun symbol in the middle of his castle. So he was deep into the occult. And I know a lot of information was destroyed because of it. In fact, didn't they find a secret passage into Himmler's castle, where they found all these like relics and stuff like that he was collecting over the years? So yeah, if you listen to any historian in terms of German, or especially pre-Nazi German occult philosophy, they pretty much poo-poo the idea. they say, oh no, it never happened and all that. It's like, no, that is a very much big part of German, especially the Third Reich philosophy, really came from this occult circles. And there's loads of books in regards of that leads up, especially in the 1920s, like the Atlantis, bring that up in a minute. So there's ooky spooky stuff that was really brought onto the philosophy of the Third Reich. So yeah, you are right, mate. Yeah, I would say following the trials of World War II, it would have definitely destroyed any mention of occult beliefs and the esoteric beliefs that the Third Reich was really put into fruition. This is what kind of like makes me a bit like shit. The Nazi Germany, they really put their occult philosophy into their belief systems. What sort of nation has ever done that? To the point where you're doing trips to Tibet to actually find the Aryan race, which was it's based upon Hindu. If you really look into it, the Nazi philosophy, where the whole occult side behind it was based upon Hindu religion. I mean, the swastika itself is a Hindu symbol, and they just adapted that and then just made it their own. I mean, oh man, I could talk about so much about it, and yeah, we'll move away from that. But yeah, you are right, mate. There are a lot of sort of documents were destroyed at that time. You said intensely. I wrote insanity, madness. I do apologize, Mr. Ron. That is me. See, I still get a little bit nervous when I go live. This is why I had to go live straight away to say, right, just fucking get it done. You're going to be doing it on Alien Addict for the rest of the year, so you might as well just get used to it. In retrospect, they could have used indoctrination as a defense. Indoctrination, what is that? I'm thick as shit, Mr. Ron. Probably guessed. Germany and Japan did a lot of burning of papers, films, pictures before the armies landed, took over. They did that according to the flying saucers as well. They actually burned a lot of evidence before the Russians and Soviets came in. Most of that was probably nasty stuff about the mass murders and tortures and probably the hidden money. Yeah, the hidden money, Moody, that's a good point, because one of the biggest Guinness Book of Records was the fact that they couldn't account for, it was like over 200 million Deutschmarks came out of the Brussels bank, which is where the money was kept for the Third Reich, where they were getting their funds from. And that went missing after the war. Most probably Hans Kammler, who was head of the top secret weapons program of the Third Reich. I mean, I believe in that. He took Hitler to Patagonia or Argentina. That's my personal opinion on that one, because the underground systems behind that, especially underground, and obviously with the documents and everything being burnt. Yeah, like especially with like the Holocaust and stuff like that. It wasn't really any documentations to prove that was going on. They sort of either burnt it or really kept it stumpf. So yeah, you are right, Moody. Absolutely. Oh, listen to this. King of Kings, Lord and Lords. I am the first, the last, and I was the middle. I was Adam. Jesus. Oh God. Oh, we got. Well, welcome on in anyway. I'm not going to bash you for it, but no, I appreciate you. And yeah, thanks for being there. Indoctrination. Oh man, I can't even bloody read, mate. I can't even read. What we've got here. Indoctrination is making people believe stuff that isn't true. Okay. By making the indoctrination our only source of information. Right. Okay. So you really like talking about like Joseph Goebbels in that sort of sense. Okay, that makes sense, mate. That makes sense. They're learning every day. Like that. Japanese soldiers just loved taking pictures. Yeah, they still do, mate. You never see a Chinese or Japanese tourist without a camera. Not stereotyping, just saying. The Japanese leaders tried very hard to get in or to get it all burnt. Most of it was. What remains is real nasty stuff. I haven't personally read through that, mate. I guarantee it's pretty much chilling stuff. Yeah, probably a bit too hot topic for YouTube. You know, YouTube are being absolute twats at the moment. So, oh God, chat has gone absolute bananas today. I only want to do an hour's long. What have I got? let's bring up Twitter and see what I've got saved. Probably nothing special. Well, we had Stephen Greer. Yeah, this is crazy shit.
What the fuck is that?
Phillips, mate.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, hold on.
What the fuck is that?
So this apparently is SpaceX rocket coming into the Earth's orbit. Bloody terrifying. Striking, isn't it?
What the fuck is that?
Language. Fuck's sake. What's the description here? Oh, okay, right, guys. You can see it. Okay, that's cool. Right. Be very careful what information you consume from this Twitter page here, okay? Because there is a lot of misinformation, I should say. And sometimes the fact checks get right. So just, especially when it comes to chemtrails, okay, and geoengineering. Yeah, this is it, Mysterion. This is what I want to just quickly talk about.
Spoken.
Go away. Right. This here. Vril, The Power of the Coming Race by Edward Buer Lytton. Is it Lytton? Yeah, Lytton. Jay Anderson, he does indulge into like German flying saucers, and I don't want to be one of those twats. Here we go. Here. I don't want to be one of those twats going. I can name someone who does that a lot. That would go. Actually, it's actually this, this, and this, and this. It's like okay. It's like I didn't ask for your opinion, but it's always good to have like sharing informations. But there's a way you sort of say it as well. But I don't want to be one of those twat waffles that sort of likes to correct people. But this is Project Unity. Jay Anderson he does post quite frequently on Twitter. And he posted this, talking about Vril. Just stop moving the cursor so much. Yeah, Vril as using it as a force to actually power flying machines. This book here came out in 1871, which talks about an underground civilization called the Vril Ya. That was discovered by an Indiana Jones type style of sort of a bit like an anti-hero to a certain degree. And the Vril Ya was this advanced civilization that would use Vril to power things like tools, healing properties, and even destroying planets. So that is one aspect of that. And obviously Helena Blavatsky. Mysterion, if you're still here, I got your message on Twitter. I'm gonna pre-plan this, and I'm gonna get you on Alien Addicts, mate. All right. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the Vril at the moment. I need to like pre-prepare because I like to get things like noted out and everything. But I will definitely get you back on really, really soon on this fascinating topic of Vril. And you can see the occult philosophy. This is the Tula Gesellschaft. Now, the Tula Society is a real society that was based in Munich in 1919 to 1925. And this was people like Rudolf von Bottendorf, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart. These occult philosophies, and they were sort of brought over by these people to really bring the Third Reich into fruition. And that's when you get into the German flying saucers, using Vril to actually power these anti-gravity flying saucers. I'm going to be honest with you, this is called the Haunebu. Obviously, it's got the gun turret underneath it, which is a very prominent sign of the Haunebu because we've got alleged blueprints of this alleged craft. But again, not a lot of like it's photographs of these flying saucers, but again, it's not that solidified to say, look, it's actually real. You get a lot of artist suppressions because of it. But the Vril gets brought up a lot about how Haunebu and Vril flying saucers. And that is a topic I want to talk about another time. But Jay did put up something else as well. And I'd like to play the video of it. Yeah. Can you see that? Have I got it on there? Yeah, I saw that. Making this round on Twitter. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is what? Oh, my God. What is going on? There we go. This here looks convincing, doesn't it? Looks really convincing. Would you like to know where that actually came from? It's from the Billy Meyer case. So let's skip this. I'm going to bring up the video. Pushing beliefs onto people is indoctrinations, by the way. I will always remember that. Bit like News Nation. But yeah, Mysterion, yeah, I will get you back on the show. We will do a proper show on Vril. I'm really looking forward to it because it's a topic I've been studying. I don't know, like, I'm not like, especially the Helena Blavatsky sort of side. I'll be really interested to hear that. What she's saying about the cosmic primal force. Talking about cosmic primal force. Hold on. Right, full screen. Mysterion, if you're still here, I'm pretty sure you are. So I've just been speaking to you. This publication came out in 1935. And this is called Vril, the Cosmic Primal Force, Rebirth of Atlantis. This is a very small publication that came out in 1935 in Germany, which talks about Vril being used for flying machines. But as this is all in German, I had to translate it and pull it into English. It's mentioning Shiva all the time in this publication here. This is part of it here. It was mentioned that Shiva, which is the god of light and destruction. And I was reading through it, I was going, God, this is really complicated stuff. So yeah, if you got any time, not telling you to do any homework, mate. But yeah, this publication here called Vril, I mean, you can just copy the title here. Actually, I'm going to pull it in link in description, actually. I'll put this in chat if anyone wants to see that. So yeah, this here is a very early publication about the Vril Society, which is, I think, one of the earliest mentions of it, I believe. Where am I going to? Right, I'm going to bring up this UFO stuff. Where are you to? There you go. Right, okay. Billy Meyer. We've heard of Billy Meyer. Clearly fake. Clearly fake guy who has the fake laser beam gun. He had the wedding cake photograph, which is clearly a bin lid. Yeah, okay. Just Google it. The wedding cake UFO. Absolutely hilarious. So this is a Randolph Winters lecture about Billy Myers and the Palladians and the aliens. And what that photograph I showed earlier, I don't know if you can see that. All right, so hold on. I'm going to go on full screen. Or entire screen, as one would say. For that. Right, okay. See this picture here? Jay Anderson put this from Project Unity. He put this on Twitter. Not too sure where he thinks this photograph comes from. It links to the Billy Meyer case. Let's bring up this. And let's skip forward. Oh, the dinosaurs. Let's just play the bit of the dinosaurs. Go on. That Billy Meyer went into a time machine with the Palladians, and he actually taken pictures of dinosaurs, Palladian women that are definitely not from a music video. And this was taken from I believe from a book. But I just find it interesting anyway. Then we'll get to the flying saucers in just a sec.
Here's the second one. There's a bird here apparently dropping some food or something.
And I'm going to 420.
Is that Charles? Charles dropping food. This one's pretty hard to see. Here's the head of some sort of creature crashing through some bushes here. It's hard to tell. I know it's probably hard to see these anyway.
Really apologies for the grainy quality is the best one I can find.
Just the idea that someone could actually go back in time just really gets my brain going. There's a bird.
Yeah, me too.
There's these eyes and pretty nasty looking teeth. And the last picture after this one is the strangest of all. It's a plant that has an insect head. Billy calls it a plantum. They were trying to explain to him how the evolution of different life forms goes. How, for instance, here's a plant life when the plants are the food kingdom of the world. When the plants evolve to a certain level of evolution, then these lower order forms, here's a small head, and this head is part of that plant. There's these two little eyes. It's an insect, the beginning of insect life on the planet when the food kingdom has evolved high enough. There are 7 different stages, they say, of spiritual energies or creational energies on a planet that create the many different kinds of life forms.
All right, let's get to the flying saucers.
One kid in Miami, his name is Manny Escondon, is his real name. He's taking notes. Here these discs came in. His girlfriend took the pictures. These are flat-bottom discs. They're made on Earth. They're called Vril discs, V-R-I-L. They're manufactured down in Brazil. They also have a factory down by in New Schwabenland in Antarctica. There's another picture. There's a news copter came in. Look at the first 3 discs. When they see the copter, they start to turn invisible or put their shields up. And the first 3 crafts, they go out in a series, are just becoming invisible when you snap the picture. It was taken with a Polaroid at a 30th of a second, so it caught it right in the mid of going out there. These discs were designed by German technology in the late 40s. The first ones we know of that were tested out were probably around 47 or 48. They're called Vril levitation devices. As you can see, they actually fly quite well. Notice the nice V formation. Being typical earthbound Air Force pilots, they're still flying in formation. We understand this technology a little bit because intelligence has shot down some of their ships, learned how they're doing it. And when you hear rumors about how the Americans are building flying discs, what we're doing is playing catch up to the German technology that's been around since the 40s. Their technology has accelerated tremendously. They make 2 different types of levitation devices. That's what we're doing out of Area 51. We manufacture the devices in San Diego. They're put together by General Electric. We test them at Area 51.
I'm going to pause it there. This is what I mean by photographs about the Hauenboom Vril flying saucers that the Germans made. I need to see a photograph, a really good one, a clear shot of this. People standing next to this flying saucer. This is Billy Meyer stuff, and I'll get to the sort of false claims that Randolph is putting forward here. Again, it's all to do with evidence, and bear in mind we are dealing with 1943 photographs, supposedly. They're going to be very grainy, they're going to be crap, understandably. But again, we just don't have that evidence to back up. I mean, Billy Myers produced it here, yeah, because he's a well-known faker. He's a well-known faker.
Here's the German disc parked down on the ground at a facility down in Brazil. Here's 4 guys standing next to it down there. There's a whole row of them. He couldn't count how many were down there. He had his Polaroid with him and grabbed a few short shots there. Over here's 2 guys here on a craft coming in. You can see the 2 guys standing here. And down here at the bottom, which I know isn't clear, is one of these old bell-shaped crafts. Many of you are probably not familiar, but there was a fellow named George Adamski back in 1962 who claimed to be having contacts with people from Venus. This was the craft he was taking pictures of. George's contacts were real, but he wasn't having contacts with anybody from Venus. The blonde-haired ladies that were inside the craft were actually from Brazil. That's where the crafts are flying out of. They've been making them down there since about 1947. They find it very convenient if they make contact or land somewhere to tell people they're extraterrestrials, and we're very open to it. If they tell them, hi, we're part of a German intelligence group from Brazil, people would freak out. I got my camcorder and I've got my micro lens on here getting as close as I can to this picture. It's a very, very small Polaroid picture that's about that big, and it got wet in the rain. He left it in the windowsill. So I've ironed it and put it on paper. So we didn't.
Great claims. Yeah, you can see this is where the photograph comes from, where Jane Unity was taking it from.
Lose it. And I'm copying it with my macro. Here's the whole picture. Over here is one of the old bell-shaped discs. There's one in the air. Notice the platforms they're sitting on. There's a guy standing here. There's a guy over here just coming out of this disc. I'm trying to get real close to the bottom of it here so we can see what they're like. This is an area, if you look on a map, I've got a little videotape over there if you're interested in learning more about this information, called Space Cities. I narrowed it down to about within a 200-mile range where this facility is at and what they're doing down there. Here's the guy standing there. The discs sit down on the platforms. Remember earlier I was telling you about how the condensers charge out the bottom to have to charge the field up? If you get too close to the earth, the charge dissipates because it's grounded. These metal platforms, they sit them down on the platforms, then they can keep the ship charged up. And if they need to take back off right away, they can. They don't have to wait for the ship to charge back up. The platforms charge them up for them, so they can lift right back off. If they would set it down without the platform on the tripod legs, they got to go through the process again of charging the capacitors up, which takes 3 to 4 minutes. So if they're in a hurry to get away, they're in big trouble.
Okay. So this is just a clip from Randall Winter's lecture. I believe it was in 1994 or 5. So the stories he's saying at the moment about real and how Naboo flying saucers, which is the typical George Adamski flying saucer, which was from the 1952, like the typical bell-shaped, like brim of a hat flying saucer. So I believe the Houndaboo was more or less created. I mean, I don't believe real Houndaboo flying saucers actually exist because we'd all be speaking German, and there'll definitely be some mass items of it. I mean, I don't understand why they didn't use this technology when they built 5 Houndaboos, Houndaboo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and plus like 10 different drill craft. For me, it just makes no sense. So that's just my personal opinion through the research that I have done. So you can see where Billy Meyer he's caught onto something that's trending at the time. Because bear in mind, in the late 80s, early 90s, where a lot of these German flying saucers stories came out, it was very much popularized in the UFO community at the time. So Billy Meyer most probably took onto that and said, right, let's just fake all these fake. Look, come on, look. It's Mysterion. You said this was taken on the TV screen, and that's very evident. It actually makes sense now looking at it, why the footage is crap. I mean, in one way, it sort of helps the stories, because if it's like a real fine, detailed photograph, you're more or less going to go, oh, yeah, you can tell the fakery behind it. So this is, I don't want to be like a dick and say, hey, Jay Anderson, you know, you stop promoting like fake photographs. Look, it is what it is. It's the UFO community. Ufology, it's entertainment, it's a business. I mean, I'm not naming UFO channels, but you know, there's a lot of fakery going on, and it is what it is, and that is the UFO community as a whole. Let's get off screen, and I'm going to end the show pretty much soon. I'm going to go through chat. King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Thanks for being here. Wacky shit, mate. Wacky shit. Let's go through this. Moody. Okay, if there was a secret breakaway advanced German society and they landed in Europe today and said they wanted to purify Europe, what % of people would join them? I laugh at these questions. I would say, how many Maria Serenes there are in the world? Not a lot. I can't imagine. So I know there are that sort of, that bloody word again, far right groups out there that really still hold on to the Third Reich philosophy, one would say. I said Nazi so many times in this episode. Let's try not to use that word. Probably about 5%. I don't know. It depends on how it's sold to us, isn't it? Like a product, it's got to be sold to us in a way. I mean, we are talking about purifying Europe. Be careful what I say here. Again, purifying to which race? The white race? Yeah, it could be any sort of race. But if we know that the white, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan race, which obviously they're white people, so I'm gathering that. So yeah, they're move on from that. Probably a very small percentage, mate. I would imagine so. Adamski, that's it. Adamski. So many were. I think it's Polish, isn't it? Adamski. Gobstopper. There are big mountains on planet Earth, but none as big or high as good. Old Bullshit mountain gets bigger by the day. What's that? Oh, Oli. Oh, mate, I'm butchering it. I should have never finished that bloody smoke because I'm screwing things up. Right, okay. Adamski, also a great 90s club act. Adamski, is it really? A 90s club act? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that sort of music back in that time period. I was more back into like grunge and stuff like that. And I would say, okay, Limp Bizkit, that was sort of my time period as well. And new metal. And I was in a new metal band, by the way. That was probably about 15 years way too late. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end it there. So tomorrow, what is going to happen? Let's do a final recap. Jake Barber, new whistleblower, coming tomorrow on News Nation. Very trustworthy source of information in terms of like UFOs. Yeah, right. I think it's going to be a bunch of hearsays and trust me, bros. I would like to see the evidence, and the evidence that is supposed to be coming forward is this footage of the crash retrieval of this egg-shaped craft. I'm going to say this now. It's going to be blurry, crap, and unidentified. Oh my God, Nick, come on. Unidentified. Because why are they going to release top quality HD footage? They're not going to do that. They're not going to give you the crystal clear footage that we want. So it's going to be blurry and crap. And ufology is going to be talking about it for the next God knows how many years. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen tomorrow. But again, I'm not going to get my hypes up. It's a lesson to be learned. I mean, if you look at Grouch and where he's gone at the moment, he's gone out of the limelight. So is Jake Barber going to be David Grouch 2.0? Only time will tell. And I will catch up after the interview that had been happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. on News Nation. So there we go. You need to brush up on your 90s club musical act, Nick. Add a bit of Maria Orsic in there. Oh, mate, right. Guys, thanks for being here. This was just a whim of a live stream. Sorry for me going every 5 minutes. I'm still trying to get used to live stream. I don't want to state my weaknesses. But next week on Friday will be the first live stream of an Alien Addict, and I've got so much installed for that time. I will be doing live streams. Actually, I've got a live stream with Hidden Underbelly on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about the whistleblower and possibly, I think the topic we're going to be talking about, like the MJ12 documents, whether or not they're real or not. So we're going to jumble things about. So that's going to be on Wednesday on Hidden Underbelly's channel. Hidden Underbelly's channel on Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time. And then on Friday on Alien Addict at 9 p.m. UK time, I'll be going live for the first time. But I'll be going live in between to sort of lead up, to sort of get my confidence back up. Again, I shouldn't state my weaknesses. This is so news to me, man. This is so new to me. It's now I've got the equipment to actually do live streams. I thought it'd be a good way to build up to Alien Addict in terms of confidence. So yeah, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you all very soon. Have a good weekend. Let's just go through chat and say goodbye to everyone. Mysterion, I'll be in contact with you soon about Vril and all that, and I'll get you on Alien Addict because that's where the views are. Moody Mongrel, thank you so much for being here as well. Much appreciated. You're a blessing as always. AOI 2012. Oh, thanks. Did I miss you? Was you in chat, mate? I do apologize if I missed you, but yeah, thanks for being here as well. King of Kings, Lords of Lords. Even though you make wacky shit claims, thanks for being here. Much appreciated. At least you're nice, I think. Corbell Cat, thanks for being here as well. I do appreciate you. John Strokes, thank you so much. And obviously, Gobstopper, I do appreciate you. And Rotary Motion, I think he's gone now. God damn you, Rotary. I'm joking. Anybody else who I have missed? DW as well, thanks for being here. Cosmic Twilight, I heard you're a bit of a prick. So who could that be? It's me. Who else have I missed? I think that is it. So that is it. To the 18 people in chat, please like and subscribe. You much appreciated. And I shall catch you on another episode of the Cosmic Twilight very, very soon. Have a good weekend. I'll see you very soon, folks. Take care.